Are we? Oh my gosh, I zoned out. Good morning. Happy Friday. I was a little lost for a second. What's up? Welcome to Valley Vision. I'm Alonzo, Joe Mitchell. You ready to preview this thing?
Yes, indeed.
LSU versus Army tomorrow for homecoming. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment, but there's a couple little news pieces I want to get to first. Soccer did play last night. They tied number 9 Arkansas 1-1. That first goal didn't come until the 77th minute of the game. Ava Galligan came in clutch. Thought they were going to upset. Arkansas ended up responding with a goal. They ended in a draw, but Coach Hudson was so proud of the girls for the way that they fought. They played really hard. I mean, again, Arkansas ranked number 9 in the country. She even brought up the point that they do have the capability of beating ranked teams and really good teams. They've proven that multiple times throughout the season. So she commended the girls for all of their hard work and for putting up a fight and not losing last night, for coming through and at least getting a tie. They are now 3-4-1 in the SEC, and they're tied for 8th place in conference standings. They'll play again, I believe, on Sunday. Jay Johnson is getting paid. Hey, guys. You're good. You can come in. We're in a shop. Don't forget. Live show. He is getting paid. It's a 7-year deal, $12.55 million, making him one of the highest paid coaches in the country, rightfully so. You come in and win a national championship, you better get a bag. We saw Kim Mulkey get a bag. Jay Johnson's getting his bag. Hopefully they can run it back. I think both the women's basketball and baseball programs have – it's not unlikely and it's not unrealistic to say that they could go back to back. And I know we talk about it all the time being really, really hard to do that, but you got the right people in charge to run it back and get another title. So, yep, Jay Johnson getting paid. Soccer tied last night. That's literally about all we have other than this LSU preview. Lots going on. Baseball still scrimmaging. Beach volleyball is playing this weekend. Softball scrimmaging tonight. But that big game in Death Valley is actually going to be the first time that the Tigers host Army in Death Valley ever. They haven't played since 1931. 1931, that's nearly 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is a super cool matchup. Not one of your big SEC hype games, but it is really cool to host Army. Student athletes have so much respect from me and from a lot of people because of the way that they balance their schedules, and they have to handle a lot, and it's class, and you've got practice and games and training and rehab and all kinds of stuff, right? These kids at Army are doing all that plus serving their country. So much respect to them. They're going to come in here. I hope, obviously, LSU is going to do everything they can to honor them and make them feel super honored. We saw the end zones LSU football posted are now camo. What are your thoughts on that? I like the idea, but, do we actually like the idea of camo end zones?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, to honor Army and all that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't love the way it looks. But
yeah, I think that's everybody's, that's been the consensus. I've heard mixed reviews. I heard people aren't happy about it just because there are end zones, which get over it. Yeah. Honestly, just get over it. Yeah, I don't think it looks the best, but I like the idea of it. We're gonna honor these guys coming in here. It is a football game, and when football starts, none of that. But before and after the game, you show respect, and I think it was a nice little touch to give a little bit of extra love to them. Let's talk actual game. Okay, so LSU's coming off a big win over Auburn. The offense is getting so much love. Jayden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, weapons, Logan Diggs, offensive line. I mean, it's everywhere. Quite literally, LSU has one of the best offensive units in college football right now. I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. I think it's heating up. I don't really know how, if you're a defense, how you stop it. And again, Army is not one of the big opponents on the schedule, but it's still not a game you can overlook. It can be if they're not super disciplined, super focused, because you're heading into a bye week and you've got Bama right after the bye week. So things may start to get a little bit, I don't want to say they're going to overlook and get a little bit fuzzy and distracted, but if they don't stay disciplined, don't think that this team won't put up a physical fight against Tigers if they're not focused. As for the offense, I think it's just a matter of getting more reps, continuing what they've been doing. The defense, this is going to be another, continue to get better. We've heard it every week. It's a little bit more progress, a little bit more progress. This week is no different. Use this game against Army, fine-tune some things. Now, they do run triple option, a less traditional triple option. So this is going to be a game for the linebackers to really step up, plug those holes. Omar Spates is back. He had one of the best games last weekend. He returned from his injury and absolutely did wonderfully. You're going to look for him to kind of come through with that again. If you're LSU's defense, what is your game plan here against a triple option offense?
It's got to be to contain Bryson Daly.
Okay.
Look, he's the quarterback at Army. He's got 700 passing yards on the year and 412 rushing yards. So he's obviously their leading passer as the quarterback, but he's their leading rusher with 412 yards. So it's not a huge threat offensively from Army, but they're going to run their offense through that guy, and they're going to run a lot. They're going to run it a lot. They're going to put the ball on the ground and try and ground and pound. So I think you're right with the linebackers. It's got to be the front seven to make a difference, which if you are LSU, could be a fun showing for the defense.
Yeah. I think this is a game that there could be a confidence boost here. Again, fine-tune the little things. Get ready to go into a bye week where you're going to have rest, where some guys who aren't playing this weekend are going to be able to come back and hopefully be ready to go against Bama. But it's just another opportunity to really get the chemistry on defense, get the guys to learn their roles, how to plug and block and all of it. You've got to, again, you got 2 weeks till you go to Tuscaloosa. And I'm not trying to overlook this game. It needs to be taken seriously. It needs to be disciplined. It needs to be focused. But let's use it for the future. You know what I mean? I think we're going to see, I don't think LSU is going to overlook it. They've been hounding them to stay very grounded. You've heard it from all of the players. They're taking it game by game. They take practice day by day. They are, I mean, there were reporters almost fishing for questions about Bama, and they shut them down.
Yeah.
It was, we're not there yet. That's 2 weeks away. We have Army this weekend. That's what we're focused on. That's exactly the mindset they need to have going into this weekend. I think we will see a very good showing.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball.
And I think this is a fun one. This is a fun one defensively because I do think you're going to get to see a lot of the young guys.
That's what I was literally about to ask.
Specifically on the defensive line and the linebacker group get to just pin their ears back and go play.
Yeah.
Because offensively, Army didn't score last week against Troy. They lost 19-0. They put up 16 versus Syracuse. They've struggled to break that 20-point mark. So they're just not going to be able to keep up with LSU's offense. So I think we jump out to a big lead early, and then you see a lot of the young guys defensively in the second half, which I'm excited for.
That was my next thing. I think you are going to see a lot of young guys. Weeks, Brian Kelly just spoke about, he's a player, and he plays hard. It's just a matter of experience. And if you've got a guy like Omar Spates, so when people are asking why Witt's not playing as much, he's young. He's got the heart, he's got the talent, but he's young, and experience speaks in this game. I think we do see a lot of him this week. If LSU gets up early, you may see Garrett Nussmeier. Actually, I don't doubt that you're going to see Garrett Nussmeier, which again, good for confidence. Get the young guys in. Across the board, you've got a lot of young guys, not just young but inexperienced players, that this could be a good weekend for them to kind of boost some confidence, fix some things up, get a little bit better, get some more experience. And I think you do see a lot of those young guys. Tell me where you think, and God forbid, where the slip up for LSU could be. we're talking about not overlooking a game and this should be an easy win for LSU. Where is that red flag of like, if LSU doesn't do this or if they mess up on this, it could be a problem?
So I think the only issue that you could have is you trace back several weeks to where LSU is missing a lot of tackles and just missing their run fits from the linebackers and from the safeties. That being said, I think that's why it's so important that you do have Omar back, right? Whenever Whit Weeks in the player pressers, he spoke so highly of Omar Speights, saying that his football IQ pre-snap and his ability to have play rec before anybody's snap, just based on personnel and positioning and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's a leader on that defense, and he's the guy that's really putting everything in motion between him and Greg Brooks in terms of how they line up and where they're going and knowing what play is coming. I think when you're playing an unorthodox offense like Army, that's so important. So I think if there was anywhere that LSU could slip up and you see issues, it would just be in tackling and locating the ball carrier. But I think having those two guys in that linebacker room really, really helps.
Yeah, I don't see a world where we lose this game, to be honest with you. The defense, yes, may slip up, but our offense is it's so good that in this specific scenario, the defense would have to do a lot to let this one get away from them. That being said, the difference in the offense and the defense for LSU, we talked earlier this week about what the future or the rest of the season looks like, where this team could land. Can they get to the SEC West? Can they win the SEC West? Can they make it to the Natty? None of those are out of the question, but I guess the defense has a long way to go to make that happen. But I heard a point this morning, I think Matt Moscona said it, that like our offense is so good that if the defense can just get by and limit the errors and the missed tackles and stuff, you very well could find yourself in Atlanta or in a national championship because of how good this offense is. And I've been hearing people compare it to the 2019. I want to get your perspective on this, actually. This reminded me of a question. How would you compare this offense to the 2019 offense, the national championship offense? Because they've been thrown into the same conversations recently.
Yeah, so I think at this point, at this exact point in 2019, the 2019 team may have had more yards or more touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of a tired comparison because every time any team, like you're seeing it with Washington this year, like everybody wants to compare an elite offense to LSU's 2019 offense. And I think that takes away from what you're seeing now. Like I think what you're seeing between Jayden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, like trying to say that those guys are Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, or Jamar Chase, like they may not have the same NFL careers that those guys are having, but what they're doing right now is astonishing and deserves all the credit. And I don't think we need to try and compare them to those guys. Let's just appreciate what they're doing. But
I agree with you. That has come up multiple times this week, and I think it's two totally different scenarios, teams, offenses. Like, give them their credit. I understand that's going to come up because the 2019 team was the 2019 team, but appreciate what they're doing now, that kind of thing. What were you going to say?
Yeah, on that same note, like you said, the offense is good enough to win SEC championship and a national championship if the defense can just get by. I think that is an exact comparison to what you're seeing in Washington.
I was literally, okay, so I was going to bring this up. Right now our defense is ranked 114th.
Yeah.
I believe Washington's is 107th.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere up in, I'm pretty sure. It is very, very similar to what's happening in Washington with Michael Penix Jr. The scenarios are very similar.
The key difference between LSU's defense right now and Washington's defense right now is Washington is significantly better on third down. So they do give up the long ball, they do give up touchdowns, but they get off the field when in crunch time. So I think if you can just see that, I think that is the key metric to watch on LSU's defense. If their third down defense it's got to get significantly better. But if it can get better, then you find yourself, and I don't know what kind of spread Vegas would put on. I don't know what kind of spread Vegas would put on a Washington versus LSU on a neutral field in late November.
That would be something. That would be something. And I do want to give credit to the defense. They have progressed in the third down issue, because it was an issue big time at the beginning of the season, but you saw against Mizzou and you saw against Auburn, they're figuring it out. And that's Pete Jenkins came in, and he has been on them about little things, routine things, doing things right in practice, and the fundamentals. And I think it's starting to translate into gameplay, and it's moving slow, but you're seeing it. So yes, I agree with you. I think if they can fix that issue somewhat, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, and that's the third down defense specifically has been the difference in maybe not necessarily the Florida State game in week 1, but certainly Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And so then you're looking at a one-loss team, and like Washington right now, they're undefeated, but their biggest win right now is against Oregon, and it was a game that they could have lost. Like, Oregon missed a field goal as time expired. So, you're just a couple plays away from having Washington and LSU being the same team, and they're not, because every play counts, and that's why they play the games. But like, these are two very, very similar teams, and one of them's top 5, and one of them's 19. And so I don't put too much weight on the AP poll. I think LSU is a lot better than the 19th team in the country.
There you go. Give me a score prediction for this weekend. What you got?
I'm gonna go. I think we're back in the 40s again this week. I'm gonna go 40. I'm gonna go 45-13.
13.
Yeah.
Really? You don't think Army has like some breakthrough plays where they just go 60 down the field, hit a hole and go? You don't think that happens once?
No.
Look, I love LSU, go Tigers, but I could see.
So the leading passer, his longest, so Bryson Daly, right? His longest pass on the year was 80 yards. Okay, so do they do that occasionally? Sure. But then again, he only has 700 passing yards on the year, and he's their leading rusher, and he doesn't have breakaway speed. Like, we are faster on defense than any of their guys offensively. If somebody gets into the open field, I think at most it's a 40-yard gain. And I don't know if they score on that drive. So I think we have the speed to go catch guys who do get loose, and I don't think that they are powerful enough offensively to go put 20 points on us.
Okay.
Look, they hung a goose egg last week against Troy. So
You're right. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him kept out of double digits. I mean, post a shutout. Let's go.
Yeah,
Week 2. Make it happen again.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. I'd kind of feel bad at that point. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this weekend's game? We'll be out there doing a vlog. Y'all know how it goes. It's homecoming weekend. Have to get back out there. Last week was so fun. We had a great time. There will be no corn dog eating this weekend. I think Joe's sick of corn dogs. He had 2,500 calories in the span of 6 minutes?
Way too many.
Yeah. I don't know how you did it. No way. Proud of you, though. You did win. You're at Valley Vision. We'll be back out there for the vlog, homecoming. If you have a tailgate you want us to swing by or want to show us something really cool, give us a score prediction or argue with me about any points I made on the show this week, let me know. We'll come meet up with y'all. We're going to round out with Tiger Tea real quick. And this is really not just cool, but I think important. There is a walk-on LSU's team, Shelby Lee Jr. He is a redshirt junior linebacker, I believe. He also served in the Army, and I'm going to pull up the article here because I don't want to misread anything. But while he was serving in the Army, he was training in, where was it? I'm pulling it up. Let's see. Military Training Village in Fort Irwin, California. They were in the middle of training. It was him and about 100 of his battle mates, is the word they use. The Bolsovar Freedom Brigade had them cornered in the training facility, and they were on the first floor. And there was a barred window just big enough for Lee to squeeze through. He was able to escape what was happening, and he was one of the only ones to get out, if not the only one. alive. He found himself in the desert, managed to survive there, had to eliminate other members of the opposing brigade, which had about 300 to 400 people in it, and then eventually got caught. But he has been spoken of so highly by his, again, battle mates, by captains, by Brian Kelly, by teammates. So to see a guy go through something like that, serve in the Army, survive something like that, continue to be a leader, walk onto an LSU football team and play a role where your teammates are looking up to you. You are somebody that the guys respect. You bring character and morals to the locker room. It's incredible. Truly, how great that we have a guy like that on our team. It makes me proud. It should make all LSU fans proud. He will be honored this weekend, so LSU is going to honor, obviously, Army. You know, they do the ceremonies and stuff before and all throughout the game, but Shelby Lee will also be recognized for his valiant efforts and for serving the country. So Shelby, when you see this, thank you. We appreciate you. We're glad you're safe. That's about all we got, right? Again, we'll be out there. Please come find us. We enjoy chopping it up with y'all. We will be back on Monday with a recap of whatever happens in Tiger Stadium tomorrow. Hopefully a shutout. That'd be really, really cool. But we appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all soon.